Chapter 6 The Noble Knights of the Last Order. With the leaders of the Death Valley Gang and the mobsters of Miss Niche out of commission, at least until bail was posted, the crime rate in Pleasantville dropped significantly. However, there was still enough action to keep Chuckles and Giggles busy. "I don't like it," Thomas said to Peter as the two youngsters made their way inside their respective homes after one such escapade a few weeks later. "I don't either, but it keeps them amused," Peter replied, sipping his beer. Jo had taken to training Belle in strategy on her spare afternoons, plus Charlie had constant phone calls from his grandfather talking about sword fighting, so the pair were never bored. Life was becoming full for the pair of them, especially with the school camp coming up. What a month. Belle lay on a mess of branches in the tree. Charlie hung off a lower branch, watching the creek that ran behind the houses. "It's nice to finally have a day off," he said. "Did you hear about Marion?" Belle asked. "What about her?" Charlie sighed, not really interested. "1 year total, 6 months suspended sentence. She'll be out in 5 months." Belle replied. "Daddy tried, but she's too well connected." "You're kidding me," Charlie groaned. "Nope," Belle sighed. Belle was of the opinion that her father was the best prosecutor in the world, but even he couldn't compete with the corruption of the Pleasantville Council. "And it's only a matter of time before Master Revolver escapes. Again." Charlie rolled his eyes. "First night dingbatter's on duty in the jail, and there'll be a breakout." The pair sighed. Suddenly, there was a small but audible bang coming from the tip. "Again?" Belle perked up. "Police haven't found anything suspicious, Belle, so don't worry about it," Charlie yawned. Belle glared at him. He blinked. "Oh, right," he mumbled sheepishly. "Does this mean no more day off?" It did. "There's no one here, Giggles. Can we please go home and go and play some lethal fight now?" Chuckles groaned as the pair searched the area where the noise had come from. "Footprints, Chuckles. Lots and lots of footprints." Giggles snapped the visor of her helmet back down. "In a tip that is apparently deserted most of the time." "And we're going to follow said footprints?" Chuckles followed Giggles as she headed towards some old cars. She held up one finger to silence him and walked towards the cars slowly. She pulled out the Lucky 7 gun and suddenly banged it on the bonnet of one of the cars. "Ow!" cried a voice inside the car. "Sir Hyper?" Giggles asked. Within seconds, Chuckles and Giggles were surrounded by the Knights of the Last Order. Chuckles drew out the lion's claw blade and stood with his back to Giggles. "So, you're the ones that have been making that noise," Giggles said. "And what if we are?" Sir Lionheart stepped forward. "You have no business here." "Please don't fight. We're on the same side here," Lady Luck pleaded. "Or are we?" Sir Dark glowered beneath his hockey mask. The knights were all covered in various bits of metal and padding, probably trying to simulate armour. Sir Lionheart had an orange lion on his chest. Sir Dark had a white, unlit candle on his. Lady Luck had a green 4-leaf clover, and Sir Hyper and Sir Lady Silent had yellow lightning bolts. "Stand down, Sir Dark," Sir Lionheart warned. "We've helped each other out before," Sir Hyper piped up, "and you guys are good." "Thanks." Giggles couldn't help but grin. "How about we trust each other? On the count of 3, we'll all take off our masks," Lady Luck suggested. "What do you say, Giggles?" Chuckles asked. "I don't see that there's anything to lose by working with these guys," Giggles agreed. "Right. 1, 2, 3. "Haven't we seen you guys at school?" everyone cried. "You're Belle and Charlie, right?" Daniel asked. "Yeah, and you're Daniel and TJ," Belle replied. "And you're Petunia, Tammy, and Sammy," Charlie added. "Wait, aren't you the guys who saved us a few years ago when the DVG attacked our old private school?" asked Belle. "We sure helped," Sammy grinned. "Thanks for that," Belle smiled back. "And you two are the ones who Daryl Jones really has it in for," Daniel said. "Yeah," Charlie sighed, "although I don't know what I ever did to him." "You could hang out with us. His group don't have the strength to deal with us as well as you, Petunia pointed out. Junior, TJ groaned. Well, why shouldn't they hang out with us? The only reason Daryl targets them is because he has his posse. If these two started hanging out with us, he wouldn't be able to hurt any of us. You do remember what he did to Sammy in school yesterday, right? Petunia frowned at her friend. I guess so, TJ sighed. Hey, we don't want to cause any trouble, Belle offered. It's no trouble. TJ is just stubborn, Sammy giggled. I like you guys. Belle and Charlie grinned sheepishly. Although, if you're going to hang out with us, you should probably have watches, Daniel pointed out. Watches? Charlie asked. Tammy produced 2 snap wristbands, one blue and one red. Both were rather thick and bulky, with a black face on both of them. Tammy made them. She's so great with electronics, Daniel smiled. She's managed to hack into just about every security system in the city. It's how we keep track of everything. Those watches we use to communicate. If someone is in trouble, they just push the face in. Petunia demonstrated. Suddenly, everyone's watches started vibrating and a green arrow showed on the screens, pointing at Petunia. Awesome, Belle grinned. Her father would certainly appreciate something like this. We each have a different colour. Dan is orange, TJ is white, Junior is green, and I'm yellow. If all the colours show up at once, it means Tammy and home base are in trouble, Sammy explained. Tammy smiled and led the group to a large pipe that had long since been buried in earth and rubbish. Inside was a desk with several keyboards attached to what looked like old computers, and the back wall and side were littered with old monitors, each showing what was going on in Pleasantville. Tammy pushed a red button, and all of the watches lit up with the colours orange, white, green, yellow, red, blue, purple and grey. Who are the purple and grey colours for? Charlie asked. No one yet. Tammy just thought it'd be a good idea to have extras in case we ever have new people come in. Sammy beamed at his twin sister, who grinned back. Amazing. Belle looked at the setup. By the way, what on earth have you guys been doing to cause all that banging that's been happening? Charlie asked. Sparring. Sometimes things get a little too rough and things get knocked around. Today we managed to knock a gutter car off its pile into another pile, which knocked the whole lot down. Daniel rubbed the back of his neck sheepishly. How? Belle looked dumbfounded. Well, we were pretending the piles of cars were buildings and jumping all over them. Luckily, no one was hurt, Petunia frowned at the boys. Buildings are no problem for me. I can fly, Belle laughed. I have to ask, though, how on earth can you fly? TJ asked Belle, getting over his stubbornness. My dad made this for me. It took him years. Belle showed them the backpack. She then jumped up and suspended herself about a foot off the ground. It's fun, she couldn't help but brag. And then the backpack malfunctioned slightly and she landed on her backside. Yeah, that happens sometimes, she had to admit. Everyone laughed. After that, the 7 heroes became good friends. They were always seen together at school. They often hung out at the tip having mock battles and lots of laughs, and their parents soon became friends too. Best of all was the school camp, because finally Belle and Charlie could go without fearing what would happen to them. Well, almost. Thanks for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe, and check out www.chucklesandgiggles.com if you feel like reading ahead or checking out our comic or even hanging out with us on our Discord. Have a great day and take care of yourselves.